Hey there, my name is Markisparki and welcome to my attempt of surviving 100 days in Minecraft Hardcore Survival. Of course I set myself some goals for this challenge. I want to build a nice base, free the end by killing the Ender Dragon and get myself a pair of elytra. And on top of that, Netherite armor would be nice, as well as maybe even killing the final boss of Minecraft, the Wither. Will I be able to do all of that in only 100 days? Let's find out. But before we start, as you probably know, these videos are a ton of work and it took me several weeks to complete this one. So if you find yourself enjoying this at any point, leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. And now, let's jump right into day one. Where I started, as you always do, by punching some trees to get wood. I crafted my very first crafting table to make myself a few basic tools, a pickaxe, an axe and a sword to be able to defend myself if needed. Because this is hardcore after all, and if you die, you lose. Speaking of not dying, I needed food and I spotted fish in the river when I was crossing it. So I decided to hunt some salmon. Poor salmon. And I grabbed this piece of sugarcane. This could come in handy later. I then quickly upgraded to stone tools and grabbed my first pieces of coal. But seeing as the first night was about to approach more quickly than I would like it, I needed a bed to sleep, which meant I needed to find sheep. You are not a sheep. There were absolutely no sheep around. However, I spotted some sweet berries on the other side of that river. I needed those, grabbed some more sugarcane on the way and got all those lovely berries. A sustainable food source that did not involve killing something. I then nearly fell down this ravine, but spotted some iron. The iron was guarded by a skeleton though, and I didn't want to push my luck on day one. However, luck came around when I found this ruined portal with some golden pans with blast protection on them. Nice! Good against early game creeper explosions and perfect for future nether explorations. And don't watch this part. So sad. I realized I needed another goal, golden carrots. But for now, sheep. I spotted a plains biome when I crossed this river. Surely there must be sheep, right? When I got there though, not a single sheep in sight. Finally I found some, but even better, a village. As night approached, I sought shelter in the next best house and went to sleep. On day 2 I checked the village for loot, but didn't find anything useful. I liked the area though. There were 4 types of wood to be found, a jungle next door and a village. I decided to settle down right next to the village on that small hill. First I needed to clear the hill of all the trees though. I made a little storage and working space next to the nearest house and turned all my wood into fences and fence gates, because my first task on the to-do list around here was to protect the villagers from mobs. Fencing in the village was a task for day 3 though. I creeped out this kid, watched the sunset and went to bed. On day 3 and 4 I was basically just building the fence, chopping down more trees to craft more fences and fence gates, placing down the fences, chopping down more trees again, and so on and so forth. On day 5 the fence was done, but the village wasn't safe yet. Mobs could still spawn inside of my defense. See what I did there? Oh boy. The place needed some torch action, so I placed torches all around the village and I did this for basically the entire first half of this day. I then planted some sweet berries so that they may grow and feed me in the future and started to lay down a path from the village all the way up to the top of the hill where I was going to settle down. Just a simple path for now, I will add details later. I was quite happy with my hill. Look at that windy road leading all the way up. Oh, this is going to be beautiful. I then spent the rest of the day placing more torches and used nightfall to spot all the leftover dark spots. On day 6 I realized that I, contrary to all my villagers, was not safe at all and was still just rocking my golden pants and some beginner stone tools. That's your Markisparki, the safety of others above his own. However, it was time to change that, so I decided to start a mine right under my lovely hilltop all the way down to diamond level. and I grabbed whatever resource I could find on the way down. On day 7 I discovered my first cave, and with it the first mob that threatened my life. And no joke, this skeleton took 4 hearts off of me. But I killed it, got the Monster Hunter achievement and continued mining. Next item on the to-do list though, a shield. So I gathered my first pieces of iron and went on to craft said shield. I was missing 1 piece of wood planks though, so I had to run all the way back up to the surface to get the missing piece and then all the way back down again. But finally I crafted the shield and went on to clear the cave of mobs, which was way easier now. Not today, thank you. I mined all the iron I could find and stumbled across a geode that we will use later on for sure. Not long after that I found myself fully dressed in iron armor. I then spent the rest of day 7 and 8 in the caves and my strip mine to gather resources. One of the highlights was this skeleton. Look at them, they were almost better dressed than I was. And I found an axolotl, so cute. But the highlight we were all waiting for was a long time coming. When I reached the surface again late into day 9, I had not found a single diamond. I put all my resources into my chest and spent the rest of the day harvesting and replanting berries and connecting my little workstation area up with the existing paths. And with all that done, I gazed upon the sunset, accepted my diamondless life and went to bed. After 3 full days down in the mines, I wanted to work a bit on the surface, get some farmland going and maybe work with animals a bit. So I grabbed all the different crops and seeds that my village had to offer to multiply them in bigger farms. Of course I replanted everything for the villagers. But in order to know where the farms are going to go, I needed to get an idea of what my base should look like. So I started to lay down a rough border where I wanted a wall to be later on. On the outside I wanted to have small crop fields and animal pens. The first one, cows. Lovely. Just connect the paths and done. Now I just needed to find some cows, which was easy. There were plenty on and around my hill. I brought a few of them safely into the pen and fed them. Oh, look at those hearts, they love me. And each other apparently. Look, cute baby cows. In the pen next door I wanted to have sheep, so I brought a few of them over and bred them as well. And how dare you asking what happened to that cow? Next I wanted to work on some crop fields and I wanted to encase them in some stone walls to create sort of little gardens. So I started by laying down some cobblestone, adding an entrance and detailing it a bit with cobblestone walls. However, I wasn't satisfied with how the whole thing looked, mainly because it was all cobblestone. So I replaced a few of the blocks with andesite, added some stairs and slabs into the mix, and replaced a few blocks with smooth stone. That made the whole thing look way better already. I added a nice little path on the inside, added some gravel to connect the structure with the ground better. And that, my friends, that is dedication. Finally I added some water for irrigation and started to till the ground to create fertile soil for the crops. On day 13 I finally finished the first crop field with 2 cute lampposts. That took way longer than I expected. Well, the gate is missing. Now it's finished. The start of something beautiful. Proud of my accomplishments, I gazed into the sunset again and went to bed. On day 14 I decided to try my luck to find diamonds again, because I needed more stone for further fields anyway. So after feeding all my animals, I headed back down into the mines. And I gotta say, this time I was way more lucky. When I got back out of the mines on day 17, I had 33 diamonds to my name. I quickly made the missing armor pieces, not getting rid of my golden pants of course, and killed a weird intruder from another dimension for my very first ender pearl. I spent the better part of the next 3 days working on my farms. One for carrots, one for beetroot, and the last one for potatoes. And after putting lanterns in 2 of the 3, I went to the nearby spruce forest to gather more wood. And as it was getting nighttime at the end of day 20, I had to spend the night in the forest. When I got up the next morning, I found that a wolf had been watching over me the whole night, protecting me from any harm. And after chopping down a few more trees and planting a few giant spruce trees, because they are the best source of wood in my opinion, I got back to the village to grab the bones I gathered over the last couple of days to tame the wolf. Yay, best friends forever! I named him Charles, isn't he cute? I brought Charles back to the village and spent the rest of day 21 replanting trees, feeding my animals and baking bread. Feeling good about the accomplishments, I gazed upon the sunset again and went to bed. On day 22 I had a strong urge to start building my base. However, I was missing one crucial resource to do so. Remember when I said I wanted to live here partly because we had so many great wood sources around? Well, one is missing, dark oak. So I went on a quest to find a dark oak forest. I found all sorts of nice things on the way. Pumpkins, peonies, rose bushes, clay, even a wildfire. And then I finally saw it. More clay. Just kidding. I finally found what I was looking for, a dark oak forest. I chopped down as many trees as my axes could take until they broke. Got all the saplings that were dropping and set up camp for the night. At the end of day 23 I got back to my village with an inventory full of resources. On days 24 to 26 I did all sorts of things. First of all, I remembered that I found this geode earlier. So I went there to collect the amethyst and calcite blocks because I wanted to use them in the builds later on. I planted the dark oak saplings, mined deep, slate and tough, found some diamonds that I left there for later when I would have fortune on my pickaxe, went back to chop down some more trees, I sheared my sheep, did some farming. Some might even speculate that I was procrastinating a bit, maybe. Well, enough of that already. Because on day 27 I started to build a gate for the wall around my future area. With a nice little gradient in the stone wall going from tough on the bottom, cobblestone and stone to andesite on the top. I mixed spruce logs with dark oak detail blocks and look at that deep slate roof. I added 2 towers to obtain a good view over our farmlands and village, and I love it. On day 30 I looked back at what I had created and was very happy about it. And look at that view, a very nice view indeed. On day 31 I placed spruce buttons on the gate that I had totally forgotten before. And what a difference those make! I then continued building the wall around my area using the same block gradient as in the gate's wall. I then topped the wall off with some spruce trapdoors and stairs where I needed them, so I could walk along the top of the wall. Then I added some wooden pillars here and there to make the whole thing look sturdier. And this was also perfect for practicing my water bucket MLG skills. Well, almost on that one. Go laugh at me down in the comments. At the end of day 32 I had one side of the wall complete. On day 33 I worked on the other side of the wall that I had finished on day 34. The reason that took me so long was basically because I had to go and chop down more trees every few minutes. I was really happy with how that turned out. And yes, no wall on the backside of the area yet, but we will get to that later. I then started to clear a space where I wanted to put my house. We skipped day 35 because I was basically just gathering resources again. But on day 36 I started to build my house. I went for a white wall design with a gradient of diorite, calcite and white wool. Some oak wood on the first floor and the deep slate roof again. Doesn't that look good? I think it looks good. But we are not done yet. I added a nice little chimney here with some tough blocks and a campfire. Nice. Added some windows here and there with some wood shutters and details and tried to incorporate the same roundish dark oak framework that I did on the gate to tie the two builds together. Placed some flower boxes in the windows, very important, and doesn't that look way better already? I added some spruce buttons again and made a path from the house to the mine and to the gate. This entrance area needs to be terraformed at some point. I added some lanterns and fence gates, but something was missing still. That's right, bushes. I gathered up some leaf blocks and put them on the build. Doesn't that look beautiful now? I love this house, it's so cute. On day 40 I was working on the interior, added some chests and a nice little staircase to the first floor, placed down my bed and spent the first night in my new house. I then gathered sand for windows, placed a little smelter area in the back of my house, smelted the sand, added a workbench with a stone cutter and finally installed the windows. I then replaced all the torches in the house with lanterns because those look way better, added a few little details here and there, moved all my items from the village to my new home and brought Charles over as well. I then went to gather potsol to detail the paths, just to realize that I didn't have silk touch yet. Well, coarse dirt will do for now. On day 43 I wanted to get an enchantment setup going to get that silk touch enchantment. So I crafted a diamond pickaxe to mine obsidian for the enchantment table. But I was also missing a book to be able to craft it. So I planted all the sugarcane that I had to make paper and went to get the needed leather from my cows. Oh, don't you look at me like that. No, stop. Please stop. Guys, I couldn't do it. There must be another way. And of course there is, I could just get the bookshelves from villagers. So I started harvesting from all my farms to trade for emeralds. On day 44 I started to trade away all that I had and after a few tries got that silk touch enchantment from this librarian. But I didn't have enough emeralds to buy it yet. To get more I traded sticks with the Fletchers of the village, and this was honestly the easiest trade to do. Quickly I had enough emeralds together to get myself that silk touch book. Crafted an anvil, placed it right here and put silk touch on a shovel. I then crafted the enchantment table, got all the bookshelves from the village and built a temporary enchantment place right next to my house. And after some more trade-in, I finally had enough bookshelves to get that level 30 enchantment. I then did my first enchantments and look at that bow! I felt very lucky then and I could even get looting 3 for my sword. I totally needed that. But I had to get more levels first. After some more trading I got that looting 3 sword. It had knockback and fire aspect on it though, which isn't great. And honestly I hate fire aspect. But in this case I gladly accepted it. I then got feather falling 2 for my boots and quickly crafted some golden apples because I wanted to head into the nether next. It was about time. I placed the nether portal on top of my hill, lit it and thanked the sheep for wishing me good luck in there. And wow, did I get unlucky with my nether. First of all, the portal spawned in a crimson forest, which is really bad because of all the hoglins around. And secondly, I had lava lakes surrounding the whole area. Well, but nevertheless I had to start my dangerous journey to find a nether fortress. Killed an enderman on the way, which gave me 4 ender pearls. Oh, I love looting 3. I then found a bastion and for a second I thought about actually going in. But oh no, that's way too dangerous. Finally I found a nether fortress, quickly killed that skeleton and mined all those bone blocks before heading in. I had to break my way in through one of these pillars. Inside I marked my entrance and headed onward. I got really lucky with this blaze spawner, which was just around the corner and completely walled in. And thanks to looting 3, it didn't take me long to get enough blaze rods for all my blaze rod needs. I then encountered my very first wither skeleton, which gave me the wither effect immediately and brought me down to 3.5 hearts. Good thing I brought some golden apples. I killed the skeleton and explored the fortress, which was a really weird one. Completely surrounded by lava and a soul sand valley, it generated so many mob spawns, it was crazy. I got withered and set ablaze way too many times for my liking. And on top of that, I couldn't even find a single nether wart in the whole place. So I decided to leave again and head home to relax a bit. Back home I needed to calm myself down a bit after all those life-threatening encounters. And how to do that better than by mining some diamonds, yes. I then crafted a pair of diamond pants and repaired my golden ones because I would need them again next time in the nether. I then decided it was finally time for a better food source, the golden carrot. In order to get that I had to trade with the farmer villagers until master level or something, and for that we need pumpkins and melons, so I grew pumpkins all around the area, and after bone mealing the pumpkin seeds I continued with the grass around it. And oh look! The first homegrown pumpkin. Nice. Then I thought, this looks like a dried up pond, let's change that. With a bit of bone meal here and there and bushes, doesn't that look cool? Then I added bushes basically everywhere. Oh, almost forgot about the melons. So I decided to head over to the neighboring jungle and search for melons and whatever goodies we could find there. First I grabbed this bamboo, and then I spotted melons in the distance. Perfect. And then I found this jungle temple. This had been there next to me the whole time. See how happy I was. I don't even know why though. The chest that totally glitched out on me had nothing special in it. And no moss. I wanted moss so bad. To make me feel better, I tamed this parrot. And then I almost died when falling into this hole. On my way home, I spotted the entrance to a mineshaft, but that is for another day. I planted some of the bamboo and the melons and finally remembered that I wanted to add podzol to the paths. And I decided that my mine entrance deserved some love. Oh, and doesn't that look lovely now? After that done, I wanted to go and explore that mineshaft that I saw 2 days ago. I headed down using a water bucket, and around the next corner I found a minecart chest already. It had a name tag in it, which is nice, but no moss though. Did I mention that I wanted moss? Then I found this spider spawner. Tried to light it up, but 3 spiders came at me instantly and poisoned me. Frantically I ran away, saw a creeper and turned right. I just ran without thinking where I was going, my health slowly going down. And they are still after me, I panicked and I just ran. Saw another creeper and quickly tried to block myself in a corner. What I didn't see was that a spider blocked my last block placement and got in with me. My heart jumped in that moment, but I made it. I tried to calm down. Breathe in and out. Just breathe. That was enough mineshaft for one day. It was at this moment that I decided never to play hardcore again. But don't take my word for it. I then mined myself out of this hell and went to sleep with my villagers because I just couldn't sleep alone that night. After that horrifying experience, I spent the next day using my name tag to name Charles. I then named the axolotl that I found on day 8 Alex. And yes, very creative, I know. But you know what? Hitting that subscribe button really helps me being more creative in the next video. I then spent the next days trading with villagers until on day 58 I finally did it. Say hello to Garrett. Garrett with the golden carrot. One of my goals achieved. Obviously I had to build a little cute market stall for Garrett with a few decorations here and there. And then we got the first golden carrots. Thank you, Garrett. Oh, and I got a mending villager too. On day 61 I traded with Garrett for more golden carrot. Upgraded my chestplate to protection 4. Admired the base progress before heading back into the nether. What are all those animals doing in here? I killed a bunch of endermen in a warped forest, which is where they spawn with a higher probability, because we need more pearls to find the end later. I then killed this ghast and got the return to sender achievement. and went to the second closest nether fortress. And you bet I used the fortress finder, because I had no interest at all in wandering around in the nether for hours. In this one I found a lot of nether wart and a bunch of loot chests as well. Still no moss though. I found my way back to the portal by following the weird trail of animals and had some problems with the local hoglin population. Back in the overworld, I quickly repaired my pickaxe and started working on my own little nether in the side of my mine entrance to grow some nether wart for potion brewing. I built the potion brewery in the first floor of my house, added an infinite water source and started brewing my first potion, which was a potion of fire resistance. I then headed back into the nether to grab a few shroom lights, kill more endermen and do some piglin bartering for more ender pearls. But after this one had given me a whole inventory full of junk, I decided that killing endermen was the faster and way more efficient method. I then added some final decorations to my nether wart farm and went on to free all my cows. They had been in there for way too long. Also, I wanted to go to the end next and free them before that, just in case I wouldn't come back, you know? And yes, look how happy they are. On day 65 I crafted another pair of diamond pants, totally forgetting that I had already done that a few days back. Put protection 4 on it and was finally completely dressed in diamond armor, which was the first part of the preparations for my journey to the end. I wanted to brew some potions of slow falling, but for that you need phantom membranes. And for phantoms to spawn you need to stay awake for at least 3 days. No way I was going to do that. So I made some potions of instant health instead. Crafted myself an ender chest for extra storage and put some items in that could come in handy later. Just in case, or just in ender chest in this case. Haha ha. On day 66 my preparations were done. I said goodbye to Charles, they wished me luck on my endeavor and oh boy was I excited. I decided to start my journey up on the hill by throwing my first Eye of Ender, which would show me the way to the stronghold that houses the portal to the end. I came across this pillager outpost. The loot chest had no moss in it though, I was very disappointed. I then found a village with a lot of chests, also no moss. A lot of apples though. And then I found my Eyes of Ender falling to the ground, which could only mean one thing. I had reached my destination. I dug down to find myself inside the stronghold. It was a weird one with a ravine going right through it. Saw some diamonds, but that is not what we are here for. I then found the portal room, broke the silverfish spawner, and completed the portal by placing down the missing Eyes of Ender. It was time to head in and meet the glorious dragon. I had to bridge over to the main island, and when I got there, I immediately started to shoot the end crystals that heal the dragon. And I one-shotted all of them. I'm a pro gamer, you know. I totally didn't cut out the shots that missed. No, not at all. After all the crystals were gone, killing the dragon was easy. I was well prepared after all. I then grabbed all the XP and went on to use the end gateway that appeared to jump to the outer islands in search for an end city. When I got there, I found myself on a small island, quickly enderpearled over to the bigger one and saw my first end city already. This was a pathetic one though, small and no ship, which means no elytra in this one. I looted it anyway and killed the shulkers because shulker boxes are always welcome. And look at that pickaxe that I found. This end city wasn't that pathetic after all. I put all the loot into a freshly crafted shulker box, gathered some chorus flowers and continued on my journey. The second city that I found was even smaller than the first one. Great! And from there on it was a lot of bridging over the void and gathering endstone to do more bridging over the void. I finally spotted another city though, which looked very promising. Yes, a ship. But then this Enderman was looking for some trouble. Somehow I outmaneuvered them though, death avoided for another time. I then fought my way up the end city, shot the shulkers on the ship from a distance so they wouldn't trouble me when bridging over, and then used up all the blocks in my inventory to reach the ship. Inside I grabbed the elytra, finally! I snatched the ship's dragon figurehead, and then it was time to try out my new pair of wings. Being able to fly helped a lot with finding my way back to an end gateway. I then quickly grabbed the dragon egg that I had forgotten before and jumped into the portal, which brought me back into the overworld. On the way back to my village on day 71 I tamed a few more wolves, looted more villages, didn't find any moss again, but a purple bed this time that I had to take. When I got home I replaced my boring white bed with the newly acquired purple one. I then decorated my bedroom with the dragon egg and the dragon head to display what I had achieved so far. I also changed the lanterns to end rods, put a few flowers there, dyed one of my sheep purple, and added purple carpet to my bedroom. On day 73 I wanted to use all the XP from the dragon fight to enchant my tools and armor. However, I didn't get anything good. It felt as if the enchantment table was demanding a more fitting place. A tower maybe. Yes. The skyline of my area totally needed a tower. I spent the whole day 74 gathering resources for the upcoming build and killed a few creepers in the night to get gunpowder for rockets later on. And then it was time. Time to build the enchantment tower. I was very happy with how it turned out. It needed some final touches though. Some roses and bushes. A new path around it to the nether portal, more bushes. Yes, way better. A magical place like this definitely needs nature on it. On day 83 I grabbed the enchantment setup to move it over and work on the interior of the tower. First a few things that I missed on the outside though. On the inside I started with an amethyst floor, lovely. And I wanted to have some amethyst crystals hanging from the ceiling, just like that. And I added a bunch of leaves and flowers on the inside as well. And with placing this door, it was finished. Look at that. I was really happy with the result. I bought this mending book, got a decent pair of boots and a nice helmet, an Unbreaking 3 book and a Feather Falling 2 book. I put Mending and Unbreaking 3 on my elytra and named it Markis Wings. I then combined my old boots with my new boots and upgraded them to Feather Falling 3. I then upgraded my sword with all sorts of things, still not the best, but worthy to be named Markis sword, and there we are. I was very happy with all that I got. The tower definitely seemed to have satisfied the enchantment table. I then started to terraform the area a bit, put wooden slabs down to smoothen the steps in the paths, and build a nice little staircase to the enchantment tower. I then added another path down to my house because I was using this way all the time to get up and down. Next it was time to decorate the nether portal a bit. I was trying to make it evil looking, but at the same time overgrown and fitting into my area. It turned out okay, I guess. I put down a bunch of these little lampposts to light up the area and get rid of most of the torches. If only I had moss carpets to hide some lighting in this place. That looks awesome at night though, look at this place. I then spent a few days simply decorating. I built a few of these small custom trees. placed some bushes and used a lot of bone meal all around. I even put a little stone cliff on the back of the base and finished up the wall. No mob could enter my area from this side now. Happy with all of that progress, I thought about what to do next and remembered that we still had 2 things on the to-do list, 2 goals still left to be reached. So I went to grab all my potions to head back into the nether in search for ancient debris, to get myself netherite armor of course. One last look around and onward into the nether again. I dug down all the way to level 15 and decided to first use the brute force mining approach, because I was still scared of using beds in the nether. I mined along chunk borders, which is supposed to be the best method, however this approach was eating up my pickaxes very fast. Finally I found my first piece of ancient debris though. A long time later I found more pieces, however this was taking way too long. And I had to mine quartz and gold in between to heal up my tools with mending. On day 93 I had gathered a lot of quartz and more gold than I would ever need, but only 6 pieces of ancient debris. This wasn't nearly enough because you need 4 of those to craft 1 netherite ingot, which upgrades only 1 single piece of your armor. Consequently, I made all preparations to go in again. This time with all the beds a beat-ups can dream of. I even grabbed my old blast protection pants. I went down to level 15 again, dug a little hole, crafted way too many beds, put one of them in said hole. I was really scared and tried to stay as far away from the bed as possible. However, 3 cobblestone blocks doesn't work. Then I tried to sleep in the bed and as expected, the bed exploded. This method is really messy. There's almost always lava around and a lot of fire. But you know what? I immediately found ancient debris. Honestly, this method is so much faster and more efficient. And I had a lot of fun with it too. Sadly, I did lose my golden pants in the progress though. Anyway, enjoy a little compilation of all the bed explosions and all the ancient debris finds while I play some banjo for you. See, I did lose my pants. I was very sad about that, but ended up with 18 additional ancient debris. Together with what we already had, I was able to craft 6 netherite ingots. Enough for full netherite armor and 2 tools. Well, and that is what I did. Look at that glorious armor. Also, I decided to upgrade my pickaxe and my sword. Look at me! That armor looks absolutely stunning and another goal achieved. With that done, I went to craft some rockets to take a look at my base from high up in the air. But first, I failed. Has been a while since I flew apparently. Also, why does it rain now of all times? Anyway, I hadn't seen this from up here and I totally loved what I saw. And then I got attacked by phantoms. Where were you when I needed you 30 days ago? Get out of here. There are only 5 days left and one goal still to be reached: the Wither. I wasn't sure whether I could make that happen in such a short time, but I headed back to the first nether fortress to test my luck. And I actually got my very first Wither skeleton skull quite quickly. And yes, I did anger all the pigmen at some point, so I was slaying them whenever I saw them as well as the Wither skeletons. That was quite annoying, to be fair, because I had enough trouble with all the blazes shooting at me already. Luckily, pigmen aren't the brightest candles on the cake, and look at those two. Anyway, here I got the second skull. Oh, and the ghasts were also very annoying at this point. Finally, I got the third skull, and to be honest, that didn't take long at all. I had a timer set so I wouldn't miss day 100 by accident, but I had more than half of the time still left. Anyway, I got what I came here for, so I quickly left this place. I wanted to check whether I got really lucky there and found that I had killed 54 Wither skeletons to get 3 skulls. That is actually on point, as the chance of a skull to drop are 5.5%, if I'm not mistaken, when using a looting 3 sword. When I got home it wouldn't let me sleep, because there were monsters nearby apparently. I checked all around my house and the neighboring area, but there wasn't anything to be found. I think the game was playing tricks on me at this point. It was about time we reached day 100 already. On day 98 it was finally time to reach the ultimate goal. Kill the final boss of Minecraft. Kill the Wither. For that I headed down into my mine, dug a tunnel far away from my home just to be safe, and placed down the blocks that summon the Wither. And there it was. It landed a direct hit on me immediately, but my armor was very OP at this point, so I didn't care and kept shooting arrows at it until its health was half down. I then proceeded with my sword, and just a few moments later, I had done it. And I had collected the Nether Star. Back on the surface, I went ahead and crafted the beacon. We had done it all. We had reached the endgame at this point. At first I wasn't sure where to place it down, but decided for this spot right here in the center of my base. I quickly dug a little hole and placed the beacon down. Nice. However, one thing is missing. Yes, way better. I admired the purple light beam through my bedroom window and went to bed. Day 99. Still one day to go. What to do? I set myself the final goal, mending on all my armor pieces. Consequently, I went back to my life as a farmer, remembered that one of the farms didn't have lampposts yet, chopped down some trees and traded all of that for emeralds. With those I bought the mending books I needed. And finally, on day 100 I had done it, mending on all my armor pieces. Look at me. I was very, very happy. I proceeded to free my sheep and said goodbye to everyone. Starting with Garrett, my good friend with the golden carrot, Alex the axolotl, and of course Charles. But then I saw something that I couldn't leave behind like this. Yes, that's better. I said my final goodbye to Charles and then to all of you out there. Let's have a last shaders flyby of everything, shall we? I actually managed to reach all my goals. Well, part of it was definitely luck, because, well, I had a looting 3 sword from the start, which accelerated a lot of things. And I used biome and fortress finders, which helps a lot. But yeah, I built a nice base. I freed the end by killing the ender dragon, and I got myself an elytra as well as golden carrots and netherite armor. And finally, I even killed the wither. And you have subscribed. No, seriously, if you are still watching, you have to subscribe right now. Also, I want you to write a comment saying, did anyone else see that black cat on day 101? That should confuse all the others good. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I had a blast making it, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day and stay safe. This has been Markisparki. Goodbye.